Okay. So I know some of you were not able to see some of the messages that I was putting into the chat before. Um, technical difficulties, like I said, have been out of this game for a little while now. But, I wanted to show you what is possible, you know, and, past profits don't guarantee future results at all. Everything that I'm going to be teaching you here today is going to be in a demo account setting. Um, and if you're not cool with that, then you're not cool with that. It is what it is. But it's all going to be a demo account, third party. I'm not using, any sketchy brokers or nothing like that. It's MT4 with FTMO is what I'll be teaching on. Majority of my teaching, and besides that, it would be on TradingView that we're looking at, looking at the strategies and stuff, So anything that you guys do, is up to you, is up your own record. None of what I'm providing you is financial advice. If you want real financial advice, go to a financial advisor, all that stuff. I'm not licensed for none of that. But just to show you what's possible, can you guys drop a 1 in the chat if you guys can see my screen and hear my voice, just so I know I'm not talking into the ether, and just making sure it's getting to your guys' ears. Great. Okay. JB2121, if you could please change your Zoom name to what your actual name is, so I know who, everybody who is on this call right now. And LJ as well. I just want you guys to use your names. I guys want you to get familiar with each other. You guys can be working with each other a lot. Excuse me, just taking a sip of my orange juice. You guys gonna be working a lot together with each other. I'm not always gonna be available. That is what it is. I will try to answer as many questions as I can. But even with a group like this, we have about 16 people in here. And it's only gonna continue to grow afterwards. I'm probably gonna lock this down at this point, though. Honestly, I probably won't let anybody else into this group now. Just because I already know, like, I really only want to keep it to 10 people. But I had a lot of people reach out to me, that that I was involved in with a different opportunity before, when we first started to learn how to trade. So I'm like, I definitely want to get, as many people as I can from there to be at least a part of this test group, because you guys know how it works. For all the people that are on this call that I've worked with before, like Lee, I've worked with Rob, with Bryant before. Maybe I've worked with a couple of the others in here closer than that. Some of you I've worked closer with than others, but you guys know that every week, every day, I do bigger and better things, right? Right now we're in a Telegram group, on a Zoom call. Eventually, this thing is going to grow to something bigger than that, and I hope to get this thing bigger and better every single week. So that way, every single week, you guys are improving as traders. I found over the past, I'll be going on 4 years of trading next month. Trading Forex for over 4 years next month, which is absolutely insane to me. I never thought it would take this long. From when I first started, I really didn't think it was going to take me that long, So coming into this, I really didn't think it was going to take me that long, but every single step across this journey, I found that if you went back to the basics and you listened to a lot of the people that first told you when you first started trading that you should only be risking 1 to 2% of your account, that you should not trade when you have other emotional factors going into your trading. You should not trade with money that you can't afford to lose. All these things that, I was told, at least, but I just disregarded as an 18-year-old kid coming into this, this beautiful industry where you can make, whatever amount of money that you want to make with the right amount of capital. Also, for those of you that aren't driving or anything like that, if you could throw your cameras on, that'd be great. I don't have a camera on my desktop computer yet. That's the only reason I don't have one on. But I will be just so I can see. I like to put faces to names. That just helps me with that whole process. Since I definitely want to be working closely with you guys. But I'm gonna go back and forth a lot. I just, that's just kind of how I operate. And I can talk forever. But I try not to be boring. I've had to, be on a lot of Zoom calls, watch a lot of videos, watch a lot of courses that are boring, and that shit sucked. Excuse my language, but we're all adults here. So doing the best I can, I want to show you guys. So you can see my screen. Great, right? So what you can see right here, this is a free trial account with FTMO that I started on November 12th, 2021, with a derivative of the strategy that you guys are going to be learning. And right here, you can see the end date of this trial. It was the 25th November 2021. And on the free trial, like your objective is only to hit like a 5% increase. I believe, yeah, it's only to hit like a 5% increase. But you can see I did well over 10%. I did actually about roughly 12% in 2 weeks of trading. And you can see how steady incline the growth was. And you can see where the drop-offs are, where I lost 2 trades back to back, brought it back, went flat for a little while, took an L here, and then we took off, once again, back on a winning streak, took an L, and then we had a solid 1 to 5, 1 to 7 runner, that took me from a $15,000 profit to over $24,000 profit, and this was all using proper risk management, not risking more than 1% of my account. So not risking more than 1% of your account and making 10% in 2 weeks, that's phenomenal trading. That's what you guys need to understand. The reason, a lot of you, just so I can get a feel for like the group that we have in here. And I know some of you are driving, but if you could, as soon as you can, put it in here. How long have you guys been trading for? Like 1 year, 2 years, a few months? More than that, like me, maybe 4 years. How long have you guys been trading for? How long, and are you profitable? Have you seen profitability at least, for at least a month straight? Have you had at least one whole profitable month before? And are you consistently on the charts? Like these are things that are gonna make or break you really in this business. Is consistency. Showing up every day, and understanding, if you're not showing up, why are you not showing up to the charts? Is there something emotional that you're going through something that you can't, you can't really, like you shouldn't be on the charts. If you shouldn't be on the charts, then you shouldn't be on the charts. That's the end of the story. If you're tired, if you're coming from work and you had a stressful day at work, like don't go on the charts. That's not going to help you. That's really not. That's just going to make things worse. If you come into this, you got to come into this with the mindset that you're coming into this ready to learn, right? And when I first started learning, this thing, I was just pressed to trying to turn this into something profitable, and that just extended like how long it took to be profitable. Like it honestly shouldn't have taken me this long. I really truly believe that. And that's what this test group is for. I want to create a space. I want to create a group, this test group, with this strategy, and see, how long it really takes me to help you guys go from, at least from a technical standpoint, from a technical and a mindset standpoint, to get you guys from where you are to becoming a profitable trader and showing consistently profitable weeks and consistently profitable months. You know, if anybody tells you that you're going to be profitable every single day they're in the market, please block them and run away from them, because they're lying to you. They're absolutely lying to you. You will not be profitable in this market every single day. It's not possible, because there are factors that come into play. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that, Wendy. Yeah, it is an insane profit, but you know, that's just scratching the surface in this market, really. But back to what I was saying before, like, it's profitable weeks and profitable months, you know, and then when you guys get to another level, you guys are going to be doing profitable quarters and profitable years. You know, that's where we want to be at. You know, if you guys can do consistently, I don't know if you guys know this, look at this. So top performing hedge funds in the world, not America, not China, not New Zealand, the world, right? What are their percentages? BlackRock is like the biggest one in the world. And they oversee $2.25 trillion, right? And I believe Bridgewater Associates, or it's Renaissance Technologies, that does like the highest percentage every year. Highest percentage hedge fund. Just so you guys get where I'm coming from. Just so you guys get where I am coming from. Look, 66% average annual since 1988. And after they take out their fees, their clients are making a 39% profit on whatever they invested per year. Not a month, not a week, not a day. Like some of you guys have been over leveraging your accounts ridiculously, 10% risk, 20% risk. Like, because we're trying to grow $100. Why are we trying to grow $100 when there's so much opportunity and capital available in the world for people, those that have this skill? Once you master this skill, guys, like the amount of money that you can make flips overnight. Why? Because I'm going to show you the companies that you guys can work with to get capital, right? And it's not difficult. Some of these challenges are very, very easy. I'm going to say it's easy because when I break it down for you, you know, what it takes to pass a challenge with a company that I'm working with right now, and I'm not affiliated with them or anything, but maybe I should look into that. My Forex funds, right? Their challenge, their evaluation challenge is similar to FTMO, but phase one, you only have to hit 8%. That's 2% a week in a month. Do you guys think that it's possible to hit 2% a week, every week for 4 weeks straight? Type of 555 in the chat. Type of 555 in the chat. If you guys think you can hit 2% a week with any strategy, with really any strategy. But my goal is to bring you guys profitability to the point when you lose trades, you guys laugh it off and you understand why you lost that trade. If you can get to that point, you know, just got out of the habit of being on the charts and just started taking signals that I paid a subscription for. I like scalping. 10 pips in my jam. I have a bad habit of over leveraging. I've got to get out of that. This is the perfect time because I'm focused on growing my Forex skills. Currently, as I lost my nursing job 2 weeks ago. Oh my God. You know, that's the world that we live in. You know, that's insane. Like, we need nurses out there and she lost her job. That's fucking ridiculous. Anyways, we're not even gonna get into that whole discussion because I'll be here for hours. But you guys understand it's possible, you know, and the amount of money that you can get from these guys, $200,000, you know, $200,000 that you can get to trade with, you know, and make 80% on that money and have a bi-weekly payout after your first month. That's like having a good job, yo. 200 grand. And let's say you do 5% every 2 weeks. Just so you guys can see the math, like see what's possible, guys, because I'm telling you, a lot of this stuff, you know, that, you know, a lot of information that we got, you know, just was not enough. Just, it really wasn't enough. But here you go. 200,000 times 5%. That's $10,000 before they take their split every 2 weeks. So you make 80% on that. That's $8 grand every 2 weeks. Type a 888 in the chat if 8 grand every 2 weeks would change your life. If 8 grand every 2 weeks would change your life, type a 888 in the chat. Matter of fact, I'm gonna spam some 888s in the chat because that's money, guys. 8 grand every 2 weeks, that's money. And it's possible. You know, I'm just showing you what's possible. I'm not saying that you're gonna get there. I'm not saying you will ever get there, because some of you guys may not get this. You know, it may not be the blessing that is meant for you, but maybe this is meant to go through you. And you'll get it. You know, so for people that have been trading for over a year and a half, which I believe a lot of you guys have been, you know, you guys are now stuck with trading for the rest of your life. You will always come back to this. If I don't care if you start working a job because you hate trading for a little while, you'll always come back to this. Because once you've been hit by this trading bug, this is the most addictive drug on the planet. It literally is like the most addictive drug on the planet. And, you know, needless to say, you know, if you guys didn't love this shit, you would not be here on a Thursday afternoon, right after New Year's, trying to change your situation. All right. So I want to go ahead and get started today, and really show you guys what the strategy is, how it works. And I'm going to take it piece by piece, for real, right? I want to focus on the most important things first. And like I said, you guys are part of this test group. You know, I want to say I'm still learning, like, the strategy portion of it, but I'm learning how to teach this in a manner that you all can understand easily and effortlessly. That's my goal as like a mentor with this thing, right? And to be able to and I can guide you guys through a lot of the emotional breakthroughs that I had with this thing as well. And the more you guys backtest this thing, the more you're gonna be like, what the hell? Like, this thing is insane, you know. Shout out to my boy Bryant. You know, he already knows. I mean, I started talking to him about this literally like 2 days ago. And yesterday morning he called me like, yo, do I see it? Do I see it going on here? I explained it to him for less than 2 minutes. I shit you not. I explained it to him for less than 2 minutes Tuesday night. And he calls me Wednesday morning. Yo, I think I see it on GU. Yo, I think I see it on GU. And I promise you, I did not explain it to him for more than 2 minutes. And he understood it because he's been trading for a long time. I've talked to Brian pretty much my whole trading career, almost every day. So, you know, a lot of the stuff we go through is the same. You know, sometimes it's, you know, me ahead of something, and sometimes it's him ahead on some things. But you know, Brian will also answer a lot of questions when it comes to structure. You know, how many of you guys would say you have a good understanding with structure? Like, do you clearly understand that this is how the market moves? Do you understand that this is a high, this is a lower low? I'm sorry, this is a low, this is a lower low, this is a lower high, this is a lower high. If you understand that the market moves like this, when I piece together this for you with this strategy, you guys are going to pick this up very, very quickly. Very, very quickly. And you guys have to understand that inside of this structure, thank you for pointing that out, Bryant, is that there's structure inside of structure. There's structure happening in between these swings. And our goal is to catch a piece of this. A portion, the highest probability portion of these major swings. You're not going to get the tippity top and you're not going to get the tippity bottom. That's just not realistic. But if you can get the lions, the way my mentor calls it, the lions portion of the move, would you be okay with that? If there was a 200 pip move and you caught 150 pips out of that move, would you guys be okay with that? Type of 333 in the chat if you'd be okay with that. Because if you're trying to get every bit of every move, you're going to lose. You're going to lose for a long time until you give up the ego and just go for the lions portion of the move. All right. So let's get into this. Okay. I'm ready. So what I got going on for you here is the 4 steps. These right here that I have written down are the 4 steps. So if you guys want to go ahead and copy these down, and I'm going to expand on them as I introduce them. Okay. So first and foremost is going to be your daily bias. All right. Every single day, the market will tell you, are we going to be going up or are we going to be going down? Every single day. There's going to be clues as to which way the market wants to go for the lions portion of the move. Okay. The second thing, sorry, 1 second. The second thing that you will learn is divergence. How many of you guys are familiar with what divergence is, and have you used divergence before? Just type a me or a yes, whatever. If you guys are familiar with what divergence is. Yeah, divergence is the best. Yes, sir. Okay. Yeah, it's okay if you're not. Don't worry. I you know, that's going to be the like a lot of the training that goes on from the get-go. And that's what we're going to start with today. You know, that's something that I want you guys to work on for the next couple days while I get everything else set up for you guys, so you guys can have the indicators and stuff that I have working together. All right. So that's the second step that we'll be looking for, right? So you have your daily bias, divergence for confirmation, and divergence. So once these two have to be in alignment first. Okay. If these two are not in alignment, like, so for example, if we have a bullish bias, but we have finding divergence to go bearish, that's a no trade. Skip that trade. You're going to go on to the next pair. But once you have these two, then you're simply looking for a break in market structure. That's what BMS stands for, is break in market structure. Yeah, no problem, Wendy. So we're looking for a break of market structure and then simply a retracement. I'm sure you guys have heard of Fibonacci. And if you guys have been trading for over a year, I'm sure you guys have used it. Maybe not to the best of its ability, but that's okay. That's what I'm here for. And I'm gonna show you guys how I use it, how I implement it, and how I catch high probability winning trades on a consistent daily basis, on an almost daily basis. When the right conditions are there, you're gonna hit bangers, real bangers of trade setups. I'm talking like 5R trades, 10R trades, sometimes 15, 20R trades if you guys have the ability to hold the mental fortitude to hold the trade for that long. But that's that. All right. So this is basically the 4-step process. And we're going to go ahead and call this the Trader Circle Trader Circle divergence, simple divergence strategy. That'll be the name of it for now. Okay. There's going to be variations of this to help you guys catch other trades, but I don't want to confuse you yet. So this is what we're looking for. This is going to be our bread and butter. This is going to be our bread and butter, and on a day-to-day basis, this is what you're going to be looking for. So to prove that I mean it, that it will work on a day-to-day basis, even on a day like today, which is NFP, like we're in NFP week after, so I would write this down in your notes as well. On NFP week, we do not trade after Wednesday. We just simply do not trade after Wednesday. The markets can go crazy. The markets will do things that are not normal. And it's just not high probability. So there's no point of trading on that week. You guys get a couple extra days off during the week. All right. I mean, you can look back on a chart and practice things on demo, but I would not most of you guys are gonna be working with a demo account anyways the whole time. But until you're comfortable and you make that decision when that is for you. But regardless, I would not trade on the Thursday and the Friday of NFP week. Okay. All right. So with that being said, let's pull up a pair. What's your guys' favorite pair? Let me get some pairs in the chat. I could really trade anything and everything, as long as the setup is there. So how many of you what's your guys' favorite pair? What do you guys trade? Like, what do you like to look at? Yeah, it works with crypto, Lee. It works with crypto. I will get to that, but this is going to be more Forex based just because it's easier to get funding with Forex. And it's a little bit harder to get the right risk to rewards and stuff with crypto for a funding program. But it does work with crypto. So you guys can play around with that as well. All right. So EU and UJ, Wendy says, okay. I love EU. I hate USDJPY. Absolutely hate USDJPY. It's just a terrible pair in my opinion. But for completeness sake, let's see what we can do. Okay. So this is going to be the whole process when you're looking for a trade setup. Let's see what we got going on here. Okay. So the first thing that we look at on the 15-minute time frame. So for those of you that are writing notes, the 15-minute time frame is where we find our daily bias. How we find our daily bias is with these EMAs. If the purple EMA is above the black EMA, and we're obviously trending up, right? We're in a bullish trend. Excuse me. We're in a bullish trend. So we're looking for bullish divergence. How you find bullish divergence, we're going to be using the TDI to find bullish divergence. So we're going to, after we find the bias in the 15, we jump up to the 1 hour, because we're going to be, and you guys don't need to, like, the EMAs on the hourly or anything else. Don't look at them at any other time frame except the 15. And the only purpose of the EMAs to be there is to find the daily bias, simply and effortlessly. That's the goal. Remember, is to make a strategy that was simple and effortless. Okay. So we're going to verify from this yesterday's low to what started coming to be as today's low, that the indicator, which is TDI, is giving us confluence that the trade is going in like, basically what I'm trying to say is you're verifying that the swing is a real swing point, right? Like, this is the actual direction the market should be going in, because most of the time the indicator is going to reflect the same way that that the market is swinging. Okay, so if you can see right here, this low, yesterday's low, is lower than today's low on price action. Okay, so now on the same periods on the indicator, we can see what? We can see that it's not the same. No, I'm sorry, I'm lying to you. I very much am lying to you. From here to here, this is where it started to form. But it extended out this way. From here to here, you guys can see how this low and this low, this low and that low, this is a higher low. Okay, and from this low to that low, that's a lower low. Okay, so yeah, exactly. It's a little bit hidden bullish divergence. Exactly. So when you have this, right, when you have this is what's known as bullish divergence. We'll just keep it simple. It's bullish divergence. Okay, once you have that divergence, right, let's go back to my checklist. What are we looking for next? What comes after divergence? Type it in the chat. Let's see who's paying attention. Let's see. I mean, for those of you that are not driving, let me know. What are we looking for next after divergence? Yep, BMS, which is break a market structure. Break a market structure. Great. So this is on the hourly. Okay. Now we want to check on the 15-minute. Do we also, like, it's not necessary that we have it on multiple time frames, but the lowest time frame that you can find the divergence on, that helps you find like the point, like the valid point of structure that you can use to, for your break of market structure. Okay. And what I mean by that is right here. No, yeah, so we don't have it here on the 15-minute. And you'll see that's pretty much why we didn't really have a good setup on USD/JPY today. There was no, oh shit. Go back. You see how on the 15-minute it's going the same way. It's creating, like, you had divergence here. Everybody see how we have divergence here, right? Like, we have it in this portion because the indicator made a higher low and price made a lower low, but the break of structure didn't happen till after. Like, at this point, it's 3 o'clock. That's too late to be trading. And I'll share with you guys what these time frames are. But that break of structure came too late. Like, it's coming too late now. So, and that's why, that's the wonkiness that USD/JPY brings. So I try not to mess with UJ. And I also, also it's a dollar pair on NFP week. So there's a lot of confluences why, I don't like to trade during this time, but that's all right. So you guys can see a failed setup. Like we're going with this, as it goes. Let's look at the other pair you said, Euro USD. Okay. Let's look at our EMAs. Okay. So here we have a bearish, confluence from the daily, because the black line is higher than the purple line, right? So we're in a bearish trend on the daily. Okay. Then the next thing that we're looking for is divergence. And we're going to look for it near the highs of the day. We're going to look for it near the highs of the day because we're bearish. So we want to short, we want to short high and we want to buy low, right? We want to short high and we want to go long on trades when the market is low. So it's very, very easily apparent here on Euro USD on the 15-minute. Do you guys see the divergence here? We get a yes, no, maybe. Do you guys see what I'm looking at? Do you guys see how this high and this high, right? That's a high, and that's a higher high. And this is a high. This is a lower high. This is divergence. Simple divergence. Yes. Okay. Justin sees it. Once you see that, we're looking for what? We're looking for a break of market structure, right? So we're going to look for what is the swing point that we want to identify as a break of market structure, right? And I would denote this low right here. If price goes beneath that, we're breaking out of market structure. Why would you say it? Why, if you were to ask? Very simple. Where's the path to? Yeah, this is my favorite. Low, pull back, came back, went higher, right? And then price went beneath this low. This was the last significant low before we made this new higher high, right? And that's why this would be like the break of market structure that I look at. And then price pulled back and then shorted off, right? And that's exactly what we're looking for, right? These are all the confirmations that we need. And then basically once we have the break of market structure, we're looking to fib this up. And since like this wasn't like a huge move, like this wasn't a huge swing on Euro USD, it's only like 32 pips. We can drop this to the 5-minute. And you'll see the divergence here as well on the 5-minute. Sometimes sometimes it's not going to be there on the lower time frames. But you can still use like a time, you can still use a time frame lower to find your actual entry. So how I would fib this is from the bodies here down to this lowest low that broke beneath this low right here. And you can see we hit the 61.8 perfectly, right? So that would be your entry. And your stop loss is going to go right at this one level right here. And that's usually, in a smaller swing, it's usually 5 to 10 pips. Sometimes it's bigger than that, depending on the size of the swing. But usually when we're trading off the 5-minute, it's going to be between 5 and 10 pips. So this was your stop loss right here. You would automatically, so I'm not waiting for any type of candle confirmation or anything right here. This is my zone right here. This is my entry zone. Between 61.8 and 78.6 is my entry zone. As soon as price touches here, whether it's a wick, whether it's a body, I'm looking to sell. Why? Because I've been waiting since 9:30 to get into this trade. I've been waiting since roughly 9:30, 10 o'clock to get into this trade because we saw the divergence and then we saw the break of market structure. We were simply waiting for it to come into a valid entry point that would give us a high risk to reward, right? So 61.8, your first take profit level, like the first point that I would, either take partials on or at least move stop loss to break even is the 0 level. And then like my real first take profit level is going to be the negative 27, right? That's like a solid point to take a good portion of your trade off, right? And then if you want, let the remainder of it run, maybe like on a 10%, like 10% of your original position size or 20% of your original position size. And you can see that it almost got to my next take profit level, which would have been at this negative 618 area, or like this significant swing low. You could have taken it like either or, like this would have been like the zone. So right around 30 pips. And you can see it plays out perfectly. If you held some of it as well, great. If not, that's okay too. If you took the whole trade here, this is still a solid trade opportunity. High probability we're playing in the direction of the daily trend. We had a break of market structure on the 15-minute and the 5-minute, and we had a retracement to a valid Fibonacci level that gave us at least a 2.3 R trade. Why am I not taking the fib from the top? Because sometimes in the Forex market, like you don't get, you're not going to get that 61 from taking it from these wicks. And sometimes these wicks are, the word is like erroneous or extraneous, whatever, like fake, just, make it simple. It's fake, like fake market price. Like it's all manipulation really, especially in the Forex market. That's why I'm not taking it from the top here. I just find that taking it from body to wick is usually the best. In some scenarios where the wick is like negligible, like it's not a huge wick, I'll take it from the wick, like wick to wick. But in this scenario, I would definitely take it from the body to the wick. Yep, interesting. Yeah, I've been doing this for a while. And I find it to be the best this way on the, like, especially when it's like a 5-minute time frame entry. This is the best way to do it. Okay. So this is a trade right here. Like I said, in not the best conditions. You have NFP going on. You have it. It's Thursday of NFP week. You have that. The market was kind of consolidated. But even in a consolidated market, like Euro USD only moved probably like 40 pips the whole day. Yeah, like 46 pips the whole day. And you pieced out 22 pips. And if you held this trade, you would have pieced out 30 pips. Is that okay with you guys to catch 22 pips or 30 pips out of like a 45 point market in a day? If that's cool with you guys, type a 777 in the chat. Type a 777 in the chat if that's okay with you to get 20 to 30 pips out of a 50 point moving market for the day. Right? Yeah, it's very simple. That's literally my goal. That's literally my goal. The success rate, if you do things rightly, if you're doing everything correctly, and if you're looking at things correctly, and if you're playing with the trend, 9 times out of 10, you're going to win trades. It is what it is. You're going to win 9 times out of 10. The only way you lose trades, the only way this strategy loses is one, if you are trading against the higher time frame trend. If you are, what's the other thing? News events and like an unknown news scenario, like things that are going on that like you don't see on Forex Factory. You're seeing like I don't know, like what would be a good scenario? Like I don't know, like a new variant of Corona drops tomorrow, something like that. Higher time frame meaning 15 against 1 hour? No. I mean higher time frame like the daily. So if you're trading against the daily bias, then you have a higher, like, you're going to have a less probable trade. So against the daily bias, basically. And like, obviously, and then if you do, if you like skip any of these steps, like if you don't wait for your break of market structure, if you don't wait for your tracement, and then that point, then you're just, you're going in there blindly. But that is the gist of this strategy. The only other thing that I want to show you guys is so 15 minutes, 1 hour daily, all in one direction. Yeah, for the most part. So yeah, I'll get to that. I'm actually just about to get to that. 1 hour daily at all so like they don't have to be all going in the one direction, but like as soon as they shift. So what I mean by that, as soon as it shifts. So like on the 15-minute time frame, right? Technically we were in this uptrend, right? But the daily is set up to go down, right? So this is okay. This is what we want to see. We want like the lower time frames to be going opposite of the daily at first, and then show us the divergence, telling us that it's ready to start coming back in the way that it's supposed to, right? Ready to get smacked right back down in the direction that it's supposed to. And sorry if this gets a little bit cluttered here. Right, so like the lower time frame is going up, and then once we have the divergence telling us that it should be going down now, right, then we're waiting for that break of market structure on the lower time frame, which would be like the 15 or the 5-minute if we were, and then wait for that retracement for it to short. So like this is like a raw depiction of what you're looking for on a sell day, and then this would be like a raw depiction of what you look for on a buy day. That's kind of what you're looking for. Like, see some divergence here, break of market structure here, pull back into the 61, and then take off to the next like key level. So that's kind of like a crude depiction of what you're looking for on a day-to-day basis. Any other questions so far besides what the color boxes are? Because I'll get to that in a second. Those are basically like session timings. And I will give you guys those. But any questions so far? Are you guys understanding? Are you guys listening? Are you guys there? Are you alive? Momentum indicator, that's a TDI, Traders Dynamic Index. Have you tried with RSI? So a TDI includes RSI. So the way this is set up, this is my favorite way of doing it besides RSI or stochastic. It's just cleaner. It happens. It detects things better. So I prefer to use TDI. Let me get a 222 in the chat if you guys are. You can look it up, dude. It's like a combination of like moving averages over a RSI. I don't look too much in depth into it. Like there are people who will look at this yellow line and only trade when it's in a certain way, or wait for like the cross of these green and red lines. I don't make it complicated, dude. I would just Google it, go to YouTube and see what they yeah. So I'm basically just looking at the green line, yeah, for the most part, for the divergence. Yes. So let's do it this way. Type of 1 in the chat if you have questions, type of 2 in the chat if you're understanding, and I can move on. Okay, cool. Good. So we've got a good group here. You guys are getting this. That's great. Okay. So session timings, and I'm going to give you guys these indicators as well. Just I honestly had planned to get a lot of this stuff done before today. I just had unforeseen things come up and things took longer than I expected. I expected to really be on my computer by 2 o'clock today, but I really didn't get back here until I was supposed to start this thing at 3. So that played into the factor of not having all your guys' indicator ready today, but that's okay. Because I really want you guys to focus on divergence and start looking for a and start looking for these break of market structures and like the daily bias and stuff. So since this is the test group, I'm gonna give you guys, all right, this is what we're gonna do. So these section boxes are basically your major session overlaps. So I try to usually really only use this strategy in the overlaps. And I try not to trade an Asian session at all. Sometimes you'll get a setup in the Asian session. I'm not gonna lie, it happens, but high probability is for this thing to happen in New York or London, and mostly New York. Excuse me. So Asian session, where the Asian kill zone is from 1900 to 0100 New York time. So that's right here. If you guys, just to make things simple on the time frame, I would do this. Everybody just set your charts to New York time, UTC -5. And that's your Asian session. My pink box is my London session, or my London kill zone. And that is from 0200 to 0500 New York time. And then you have New York kill zone, which I believe I have set up to 12. Yep. So that is from 0700 to 1200. So these are like your 3 major sessions. So basically, like, you can have like a solid move if you you'll start to see like solid moves happen where Asian going into London kind of sets up your divergence, and then London creates your break of market structure, and then New York pulls back and then gives you a trade that way. Or you have your divergence go from your London into New York, and New York breaks the market structure and pulls back and gives you the trade down. So like those are kind of like the scenarios that usually unfold. So basically what I want you guys to start doing today is to highlight these sessions on your chart. Okay. And for now, what I want you guys to do for now is just use a I want to get you guys, I want you guys doing them in the direction of the bias. So I'm gonna get you guys this indicator, my EMA strategy indicator set up sometime later today, but I will review this, right? Review this and find like a sessions indicator that you guys can use for now until I have everything set up and made public, so that you guys can use my stuff. And it's all like set up the same way. But until then, what are the 2 EMA periods? Yeah, I'm not disclosing that, Lee. It's like my intellectual property. I came up with it that way. like it's not like a normal, like, you know, some people do like a 10 and 20, like 100, 200. But like I came up with it based on certain things. So I'm not disclosing what those are yet, or maybe I will later. I don't know yet. So that's kind of why I'm holding that close to the chest to this point. But you know, like I'll make this this EMA indicator available for everyone sometime later today. But what I would just start doing, guys, is practicing your divergence. So get this, you got, like, I didn't make this indicator, you guys can just find it. It's ASFX TDI by Logan Silver, right? This one right here. You want to take a screenshot of that, great. This is the indicator that I use for TDI. And you guys just basically throw that up on your chart and start going in on the 15-minute time frame and looking at like the major moves in a day, and see where the divergence happened in like the breakout structure. So like what your chart is going to look like is like something like this. Everybody copied all this down? I mean, I know it's going to be in the recording and stuff, but did everybody copy this down? Just drop a 1 in the chat, so I can just erase all this stuff off my thing. Is anybody else still writing? Just let me know in the chat if you're still writing. I will, I'll wait up for a second. Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You guys can catch it in the recording. Okay. So, like, you guys can set up your charts like this. Find where the big moves are, right? And you will see whether the divergence and the breakup structure played out. And I think what you guys could do for now is just throw on like a 200 and a 400 EMA until I can get you my EMA indicator. But just throw on a 200 and a 400 EMA. So it'll look something like this. Your 200 will be your pink one, or your top one, whatever color. You guys could play around the colors if you want, or you could do it the same as me, up to you. And then this one would be 400. Okay, and that will give you kind of a similar daily bias setup to what I have for now. And then I will, like I said, I'll get that indicated to you sometime today, so you guys can start playing with the divergence, and you guys know what the time frames are. You know what these boxes are. Make sure you have your session breaks on. Remember that you only want to use the 15-minute chart for the bias. And after that, you could just turn the EMAs off, because once you know what the bias is, then you're just going to work with that, right? So like right here. So this is an example, right? You have the 200 crossed above the 400, right? Price breaks out. You can see the divergence. Let's find the divergence. Yep, right here. So see, like this is sometimes how it gets a little bit tricky, because it'll come from like the yesterday's low, and you guys would just be looking inside of here. Like if I was just simply looking inside of here, you'd be like, oh, there's no divergence. There's no divergence. But no, look right here. Yesterday's low coming into what was potentially today's low, right? that gave you divergence. Price broke out above a significant high, right? The Asian high broke above the Asian high, and then price pulled back. Yes, the EMAs there give you a little confluence or whatever, but if they were, even if they weren't there, because that's not their role. Their role is to what? What role do the EMAs play in your guys' trading? Can somebody type that in the chat for me? What role do the EMAs play in your trading? Anybody besides Lee? Yeah, you have it's what you have is right, Lee. I'm just trying to see if somebody, like everybody else, can participate. Average price in a given time, yes, Wendy, like that's what they do. But in the role of this strategy, the only role that they have, the only job that they have, is to tell you what the daily is doing. So what the daily is doing and what the bias should be based off the daily time frame. Okay, so that's the role that they play. And seeing that they were purple was above the black, that's telling us that we're in a bullish trend on the daily, right? And then the next step is to wait for the market structure break, which happened right here. Break of market structure, and then price simply pulls back right into the 61, right at the start of the kill zone. 12 pip stop loss. We went all the way to almost the next, like the last TP pretty much. You could have started to take some partials off at these significant points, or you could see that this was like the next significant level. So I would have probably aimed for something right here. Like 50 pips is a solid trade. Like 50 to 75 pips is like what like the goal really is off of these trades, like when the markets are moving. But sometimes it's going to be a little bit less than that. Sometimes there's going to be other events that come into play with this. So that's why we take partials and move stop loss to break even, at least to the point where you're up to like 20 some odd pips, or like 10-12 pips even, because it'll come up to the 0 level. Like take a little bit off at least there and move your stop loss to break even, and we'll talk about a little bit more of the trade management stuff. And you guys will start to get a feel for it once you start trading with this for real, on a demo account, and start playing around with it. You'll start to get the feel of like, okay, I should start taking profits here, at least something, because usually, it'll come out and, wipe me out at break even, or it'll come back and hit my stop loss if I don't move it up soon enough. And then sometimes you're like, damn, I don't have the patience to be holding these trades. And how we can work through that is like start looking at these significant highs, and start finding, is there divergence yet? If there's not divergence yet, then what's the point of getting out of the trade? Because divergence is what's going to potentially set up for the market to start going the other way. And you can start to see after we broke this high right here is when we started to diverge. And once we started to diverge, okay, now, I should be taking a lot of my position off here, and it's getting close to the end of the kill zone. Like we're going to start approaching the next session, the end of the day. So I should take a significant portion off of my trade off here. And if I want, I can leave maybe, if I open 10 standards, maybe I'll leave one open, to see, just to see how the trade will play out, if it keeps going further, follows the daily trend. Because when we're trading with a daily trend, you guys have the opportunity to catch some major swings. But if you guys are more scalpers or more intraday traders like myself, you're probably going to start to close like at 50 pips. You hit 4.3 R. So, if you risk 1%, you should be up at least 2 to 3% on that, even if you took some partials along the way in here. So that this one trade could be, you're done for the week. Does everybody understand that? Like a one trade like this can have you done trading for the week. How many of you would like to take one trade for the week, spend, I don't know, how long did we take to find this? Let's say, you got up at like 6 o'clock, you found the divergence, and then you just waited. You found the divergence, you had the break of market structure, and you're like, really, you probably waited like an hour to get into this trade. And once you were in and out of this trade within 4 hours. And it's not like you're going to sit there and monitor every single candle, let it do its thing for a while, so realistically in 5 hours, if you traded 5 hours this week, you would have made the amount of money that you need to make. You would have hit your 2% a week goal, or 3% a week goal, and you're done trading for the week in 5 hours. How many of you would like to work only 5 hours a week? Type of 555 in the chat if you guys would like to work only 5 hours a week and make a good amount of money trading. If that's cool with you, this is the place to be, because I'm gonna help you find these high probability trade setups that are gonna go in your favor for the most part. If you follow the steps specifically one by one, and take your time, you will find setups. You will find setups almost every day. Should you trade every day? No. You should not trade every day. Absolutely not. But you can be comfortable in not trading every day because there is opportunity almost every day. And what that allows you to do is step away from the charts when it's necessary. When you have something else going on outside of this, because trading is not your life. Trading is just a way you make income. It's fun. It's absolutely very fun when things are clicking, and it can suck when things are not clicking. But my goal here is to help you guys with this strategy that I've created to help it click, help it make sense, help you guys make what you make out of this, learn something out of this, use this technical analysis to better whatever you want to better, man. It's up to you what you guys do with it. So after today's hour and some change session, if the 6 of you that are on here today would like to continue with this, let's run it up. I would like for you guys to use what I told you to do. Like set up like as a sessions indicator until I can get mine out to you. Set up the 200 and 400 EMAs on your chart, set up the TDI on your chart, and start practicing. I would like to see, I'd like to see, at least 10 charts from all of you. And for the, by, let's say, I don't know, let's say by Monday. And I'll try to create another, I'll try to do like another Zoom call next week, going further into it, and try to get everybody on the pace where they can at least learn this portion of it. And then, I'll start to add other things on, show you guys how you can do other things with this as well. It's not like a set TP Lee. Like you'll start to you'll get a feel for it. You'll start to feel out like a confluence point. So like a -27, you see how this lines up with like the significance of the New York session high from the previous day. That's a significant level, and you can see how price had trouble breaking through here and moving on. So take some partials, move stop loss to break even, right? Take something off. What that something is going to be up to you, and you'll start to find what that something is based on the trades that you manage. It's different. It's different in every quarter of the year. So, and it's different on how well the daily is trending. The more consolidation the daily's in, the more there are other factors coming into play in the market. it's going to be different. It's not always going to be the -27. It's not always going to be the -618. Sometimes like you're going to have trades that run out to, to the the -1618 and go even further than that. Because, you could have, found like a move inside of a move, right? Like I explained in the beginning, you have structure inside of the structure. So sometimes, you're going to have these setups that are going to run even past this point. But it's just knowing, okay, why that's a significant point. Like the only thing that really matters are like the week, like the daily highs and lows, weekly highs and lows, session highs and lows. Like those are your significant levels. There's significant liquidity at these levels. So price will start to slow down, price will start to react to those levels in a certain way. And if price is continuing to trend higher, after you've taken that trade, then you can manage your stop loss by moving your stop loss up. Like you can manage the trade that way. That's just a personality thing. Like once you have this structure, right, after it breaks above that high, you can move your stop loss below there and keep letting it run. And then it came back down, and then went higher again. Okay, now you can move your stop loss below here and keep letting it run. And then it came back down here and then it stopped. It's getting close to the end of the day. Me personally, I would just close out the trade here. Now, if you're the kind of person that has the patience to continue to hold the trade, then you leave your stop loss at break. You leave your stop loss here, but you took partials here, you took partials there. And so when it comes back and hits you, here, hits you back out for whatever the rest of your trade was on, you're not mad. But like that personality difference is going to be different for every single person. Some people are going to like to move their stop loss and keep riding the trade out as far as it can go. Some people are going to take positions completely off too early. Some people are going to do a hybrid, like take partials and move the stop loss, take partials and move the stop loss, take partials and move the stop loss. And then when it gets getting close to the end of the day, they close the whole trade. And that's the kind of person I am, where I like to do stop loss break even, let the trade run, take some partials, pulls back, goes higher, okay, take some partials again, and then maybe move my stop loss here, and I'll just leave my stop loss here, because once it gets close to the end of the day, I know I'm going to be 100% out. I like to be 100% out pretty much by 1-2 o'clock, the latest. I like to be 100% out of the trade. Sometimes I'll be out earlier. Sometimes I'll be like, okay, we're getting close to 12 o'clock. We just hit this significant high from 2 days ago. I'm 100% out. I made 52 pips on this trade. I did 4R on this trade. I potentially made 3 to 4%. I'm good. Like that's it. I'm done for the week. We're good. So that's where the personality differences come in. Now we take a short on Bitcoin now based on 15 minutes. Okay, let's take a look on Bitcoin. Personally, I'm looking at the time right now. I would probably not be trading at this time, even if it's Bitcoin. Where is my Bitfinex chart? No, not at all. Yeah, there's no setup here. But yeah, sorry, I just had a call coming in. Yeah, there's no divergence here, Lee. I don't see any divergence. Yeah. Yep. Okay, so there's RSI divergence, but not TDI, so that's why. All right, guys, that's kind of my spiel for the day. Thank you so much for being on. I'll upload this recording once it's done processing or whatever into the group. Okay. Yeah, you can message me about that, Lee. I have to do a couple more things now. And then I'll get back to you, dude. But thank you all for being on. And hopefully you guys run with it, and hopefully you guys, put in the effort and practice. The more you practice, the better you're gonna get at this. I've had a couple people working on this before, and they've been able to do some pretty cool things. Um, and you'll see how big this thing gets pretty soon. And you guys are literally at the beginning stages of this thing, so I'm excited. I'm excited to see where you guys get within 90 days from now. By the end of March, by the end of April. Um, I hope for you guys to start calling these setups out and really trading like it's effortless within that time frame. But if it takes more time, it takes more time, and those may be mental blocks that we have to overcome. But I will do my best to point you in the direction and help you guys get rid of those mental blocks the way I did them, or point you in the direction where you can learn how to get rid of them yourself. All right. With that being said, appreciate y'all. I'll see y'all soon. And for those of you that are in the group, if you have any questions, drop them in there. And once I have time, when will the recording be available? Just probably a couple hours from now, bro. It just takes some time to process and then upload and stuff. But yeah, probably by like 6 o'clock, maybe. All right. Peace. See y'all later.